Hi. Thank you all for coming to celebrate Mo's life. Can everybody hear? Yeah. I'm just going to kind of highlight a few things that we had. I first met Mo in 1970 in Penticton. I was teaching school, and there was a party in Oktoberfest. And Mo, he was actually taking my roommate. And I was going with a friend of his. And but when the night was over, it was Mo and I that left together. And we stayed together for over 50 years. So, and then in 1972, he came to join Prince Rupert to be your head bro. And he came here in April, and it was actually April Fool's Day was the day that he came here. And Gordy Gillam was kind enough to open up his home to give Mo a place to stay. And I kind of always thought to myself that that must have been the epitome of the odd couple, right? Mo and Gordy, you know. And then in 1974, Mo and I got married in Vancouver on February the 2nd, which is Groundhog's Day. And he said if he saw a shadow, he wasn't coming into church, which is typical of Mo. And, you know, and then we were very blessed to have two great kids, Bob, our son, with Katie and Zay, and another granddaughter on the way in a couple of weeks, and Jackie and Rory, and Emma and Abby. And it was a real blessing to the fact that they chose to work here and raise their families here, and so we could always be close to them. Then Mo had, I don't know what year it was, but he had a heart attack, and then he had a bypass, and he had to not work for quite a few months. So I quit teaching school and I went to the golf course to work there. And I know all my friends used to say, you know, Pam, how do you live and work together, right? And I would say, we don't. I said, I work and he bullshit. And he was very, very good at his job. And then, well, in retirement, I'm going through this real quick, because otherwise I won't get through it. You probably thought it was going to be another, you know, I was going to go through 50 years. But no. And then in retirement, Mo found out that shopping was very social. Many of you know that I would go in with a list of 6 things, and we would come out an hour and a half later, because he always had time for everybody. And you all know that, you know, if he saw you, he would stop and talk to you. We also started walking along the waterfront, you know, starting at the Whale, and our ambition was to get to Cow Bay and back. But we'd always get about halfway there, and then realize we had to get back, and so we never made it that far. So, and the other thing that Mo loved was to go to the his and hers or Mr. and Mrs. golf tournaments. I remember I was telling some of the girls at golf a few weeks ago, the last one we went to was in Smithers, and we were teamed up with a couple that we didn't know. So they were already down at the first tee, and we drive up, and out gets a lady with one leg and a guy on oxygen. Well, the look on their face was absolutely priceless. Anyway, I'm not going to talk very long. I just want to say that Mo was a dedicated golf professional. He was a kind and caring husband. He was a great dad, and he was an amazing Thank you.
Good afternoon. Thank you all for coming here today to celebrate my dad. If he could be here today, he would be so happy. He would be so happy because the Dodgers have clinched a playoff spot and the PGA Tour season started yesterday. He loves sports so much. In 1997, he stood on the stage and was given the honor of giving the commencement speech to the graduation class that year. It was such an honor, it's something I'll always remember. It was voted on by the students. And normally they would choose the mayor or something, but that year they chose the local golf pro. It was my sister's grad year, and he just loved people, and he loved getting to know people, and they voted for him. He just had such a great gift of gab, and unfortunately I did not inherit that. At this moment, I really wish I did. Yeah, working at the golf course, it was the best job ever. Maybe not the best paying job, but it was the best job ever. It was the best job ever because my dad made it so much fun. To begin with, when people come to the golf course, they're happy. But then on those rainy days, me and my dad would throw a golf ball around like it was a baseball. He would always answer the phone. Good afternoon, golf course. How may I help you? Bob Hayes speaking. So he would pretend to be me. And then they would ask for him, and fun would ensue. And a lot of you have shared that it was your first job and how much you enjoyed it and how good it was for you. And I thank you for sharing that with me. And then there was another way to get a job at the golf course. And that was to steal the range balls. My dad would always catch people stealing the range balls. And instead of calling the police, he would bring them into the pro shop, and he would tell them, your punishment is to come here tomorrow and pick up the range balls. And sometimes I'd be like, hey Dad, like these people are stealing from you, shouldn't you call the police? And he'd say, these aren't bad kids, they just don't have anything else to do. And so that was just something else really cool about my dad. He always saw the best in people. And so he would give these kids a chance, and they would come the next day, and they'd pick up the range balls, and then he'd say, do you want to do that again tomorrow? And I'll pay you. And so they would end up with a job. Yeah, my dad was just so much fun. He was so positive, so optimistic. In hindsight, when I look back, he was like a puppy dog. He's always full of energy, always would enthusiastically greet you. He's not just my dad, he was my best friend. And it's probably why I lived at home till my early 30s. Nicknames. He loved to give people nicknames. A lot of them made absolutely no sense at all. Some were really smart, but a lot made absolutely no sense. We have a book outside, a guest book. If you haven't signed it on your way in, if you would on your way out, and put your name, a nickname if you have one for you, and a little comment. I would love to look back on that. And yeah, thank you for coming here today to celebrate my dad, and thank you to all those who donated to the scholarship fund. It's going to allow us to be back on the stage every year for years to come to give an award in his honor. And I just want to end by saying, go Dodgers, go Red Wings, go Packers. I love you, Dad. I miss you.
Stuart Morley Hayes, born July 7, 1946 in Hamiota, Manitoba. Passed away in Victoria, BC, May 28, 2021. Mo the Pro, as he became known in later years, was a loyal, kind, and compassionate son and brother. He was a true friend to everyone he met and never forgot a name. He was a real sports enthusiast to all sports. Mo played hockey from the age of 5, when Dad would take him to the hockey Saturday mornings at 6 a.m. When hockey finished in the spring, it was baseball time. His mom and Dad were always in the stands. Dad finally built a house closer to the sports facilities so we could walk to and from our functions. It was then that Mo took an interest in golf, as the course was right behind the house. He began picking up lost golf balls, to cleaning clubs and caddying, and to actually playing himself. When Mo graduated from high school in 1964, he worked at the Penticton Golf and Country Club until he left the U.S. to train. We all thought he would remain in the States, but he accepted the pro position in Prince Rupert in 1972. He married the love of his life, Pam, in 1974, and they remained in Prince Rupert, a place that Mo was proud to call home. Mo was predeceased by his parents, Robert John and Berta May, and sister Shirley. He was survived by sister Helen and Gordon Pearson, sister Gladys Sisby, and brother Ed and Maggie Hayes, who were unfortunately unable to make it today. Also survived are many nieces and nephews and great-nieces and nephews. We have a poem here that we feel reflects Mo's life that Gladys is going to read.
This poem is by Linda Ellis, called The Dash. I read of a man who stood to speak at a funeral of a friend. He referred to the dates on the tombstone from the beginning to the end. He noted that first came the date of birth and spoke of the following date with tears. But he said what mattered most of all was the dash between those years. For that dash represents all the time they spent alive on earth, and now only those who love them know what that little line is worth. For it matters not how much we own, the cars, the house, the cash. What matters how we love and live and how we spend our dash. So think about this long and hard. Are there things you'd like to change? For you never know how much time is left that can still be rearranged. To be less quick to anger and show appreciation more, and love the people in our lives like we've never loved before. If we treat each other with respect and more often wear a smile, remembering that this special dash may only last a while. So when your eulogy is being read, with your life's actions to rehash, would you be proud of the things they say about how you lived your dash?
Peggy DeVaris, Pam's sister. Oh dear, was also known as Auntie from Uncle Mo. Mo stayed with us on and off while Pam was in the hospital and through rehab. He would never take a ride to the hospital in a car. He always had to take the transit. And he loved talking to everyone. I figured that he was really going to get into trouble sometimes. Because he'd stop, we'd have a field next to us, and that too, that the kids played soccer, and he'd talk to the children and the parents and everything. Figured he wasn't in a small town now. He also, we had just moved into our house not too long before they came to stay, and he stopped and talked to a neighbor of ours. And he said he was from Prince Rupert. And they said, oh gosh, the people across the street are from Prince Rupert. Well, that was John and Maggie Hardy. They live across the street from us in Richmond. And in Holy Family, Mo went to pick up Pammy one day, and went and sat on the bench. And there was another lady, her name was Pat, a friend of Pam's, sitting there. And he didn't really know who she was. And he said to her, well, is this a good place to pick up girls? And this Pat said, oh dear. She shook her head, went right in, heading inside. Who is this here? And that too. And then Pam came up and she said, hey Pam, or Pat, have you met my husband? Well, that really explains something. And they went to the Richmond Mall one time and went to the White Spot for lunch. And Pam, I don't know if she was in her wheelchair or her walker, had her walker, and Mo had his oxygen on his back. They went in there and had lunch. And then they asked for the bill. Well, the waitress said, oh, it's already paid for. That man over there paid for it. And of course, that was the time when it was paid forward. Well, Mo always paid forward. He always thought of everyone, talked to everyone who would listen, or even those who didn't. He was a cheerleader for everyone. And this world is richer for all of us who knew him. Thank you.
Good?
Take your mask off.
You are number one. You will and always be number one. Wow. Mo the Pro, I'm going to miss that from now on. Although sometimes feel pretty embarrassing, especially because Mo talks so loud in public. But I still love it. I met Mo in, I think, 1987, around New Year time, and he was giving indoor golf lesson with the late Mr. Larry Gordon. You know the funny thing, right? The first thing I learned from Mo is not the golf swing, the chipping or putting, is to put money into your own stocks. And he told me, he said, number one, that's the safe place to put your money, even when you're so drunk. Thank you, Mo. I think it's working because I'm still doing it. I played golf with Mo first time, I think gonna be 30 years ago. And I was told by my playing partner that when Mo is teeing off, address the ball, don't say anything, just keep quiet. I think it was going fine until number 5 tee box. And I started to ask the question. I said, you know, Mo, who won the baseball last night? How's the Dodgers doing? Wow. It took a good 10 minutes before Mo finished off the story. My praying partner come over and look at me. He said, number 1, don't ever do it again. We only got a few hours before sunset. So, the last few years, I played lots of golf with Mo, and he always tell me, because I like to bet, right? And bet high or bet deep. And he always come and tell me, he said, number 1, don't mortgage your house. We can't win today. I said, okay. But to tell the truth, Mo, I'm still living in the same house. Thank you, Mo. We're gonna miss you, and we love you. You'll be missed forever by so many. Thank you.
Well, back in 1972, Pam's already stolen some of my stuff here. But anyway, back in 1972, Mo moved into my house with me and I guess lived with me for a couple of years. And there were lots of shenanigans in those days. Came home from a business trip one time and opposite the dining room table, there was a big hole about this size in the wall. And of course it fitted Mo's head. And then picked him up and tossed him around like a football. Of course he was pretty slender in those days. And anyway, I phoned him up and I said, you get yourself home here right now. What's the matter, Gord? I said, you know what the matter is. So anyway, he came home and I tested the fact that yes, they had been throwing him around like a football. In any event, that was one of the episodes of The Odd Couple, okay? Anyway, as time went on, of course, you've heard all the other part of that story from Pam and Helen and so on. And in any event, I guess it was my wife's 60th birthday back in Terrace. And she said to me and Mo at the time, she said, why don't you two go on a golf holiday in the fall every year? Well, we didn't have to be suggested twice on that one. That was it. We did that for 16 years, I believe, and went through the Okanagan, stayed with Gladys, and anyway, it was great. We played every course, well, just about every course in the Okanagan. Over to Castlegar one year, down to Vesuvius, of course. Every year we did Fairview Mountain, and Bob and Jackie and Pam was with us on one particular occasion, and it was all great fun. And of course, when we started out, well, we were talking about 2003, I guess. Well, Mo was pretty chatty, as everybody knows. Well, he had talked a leg off a chair, eh? Anyway, that was the beginning, and then, of course, with technology, the matter of texting became an item. Well, then there was no more talking, there was just click, 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 click. And that went on like for hours. I'm the driver, of course, and wow, it was such a difference. It was unbelievable at the time, to me at least. And anyway, over those years we had great fall sessions. We looked forward to it with great anticipation during the summer. And at the start, when he was still working, we couldn't leave until after the tombstone. And then one year, he was the one that arranged all the golf games type thing. Well, one year we were going to start off in Williams Lake. Well, guess what? It was snowing on the first tee. Anyway, that was a really good time of my life, and I know it was for Mo, because he got to visit all his friends through the Okanagan, and it was real fun. Anyway, old buddy, rest in peace, and we'll all be seeing you one day. What's that? I didn't see it there. Okay.
This is how legends are made. This is how legends are made. This is how legends are made. Well, I beat the drum and hold the phone. The sun came out today. We're born again. There's new grass on the field. We are family. I got all my sisters with me. We are family. Get up, everybody, and sing. We are family. I got all my sisters with me. We are family. Get up. Could I have this dance for the rest of my life? Would you be my partner every night? When we're together, it feels so right. Could I have this dance for the rest of my life? I'll always remember that magic moment. Thank you for being a friend. Travel down a road and back again. Your heart is true, you're a pal and a confidant. I'm not ashamed to say, I hope it always will stay this way. My hat is off, won't you stand up and take a bow? And if you threw a party, invited everyone you knew, well, you would see the biggest gift would be for me, and the card attached would say, thank you for being a friend. But if we are wise, we know that there isn't anything I wouldn't do for you. We stick together, see it through, 'cause you've got a friend in me.
Take me out to the ball game. Take me out with the crowd. Buy me some peanuts and Cracker Jack. I don't care if I never get back. Let me root, root, root for the home team. If they don't win, it's a shame. For it's 1, 2, 3 strikes, you're out at the old ball game.
I'm not gonna stand in your way. I loved her first, I held her first, and a place in my heart will always be hers. From the first breath she breathed, when she first smiled at me, I knew the love of a father runs deep. And I prayed that she'd find you someday, but it's still hard to give her away. I loved her first. You've got to kiss an angel good morning and let her know you think about her when you're gone. Kiss an angel good morning and love her like the devil when you get back home. Kiss an angel good morning, let her know you think about her when you're gone. Kissing. Babe, I got you. I got you, babe. I got flowers in the spring. I got you to wear my wedding ring. Put your little hand in mine, in the hill or mountain we can't climb. Babe, I got you, babe. I got you, babe. I got to hold you tight. I got you, I won't let you go. I got you, babe.
He was a boy, she was a girl. Can I make it any more obvious? He was a punk, she did ballet. What more can I say? He wanted her, she'd never tell. Secretly she wanted him as well. And all of her friends stuck up their nose, and they had a problem with his
The mic is now open if anybody would love to share a story. We would love to hear one.
Bingo.
Well, I don't really have much in the way of a story, but sometimes you don't get a chance to say thank you to somebody that you've known for say, 50 years. Mo came in, say, 1972. I think I started golfing about 1971. Pro at that time was a guy named Cam Lane. Then Mo came right after that. Another thing that happened was the Prince Rupert Alva Kings were formed about that time. Mo being the sports fan he was, he got into all that and the nickname. So my nickname was, shortly after I met him, became the King. And I wasn't sure whether that was for King Richard or King that played for the Kings, and then it became Kingo. So I just want to, again, say thanks to Mo for so many things, for Pam, Bob, and Jackie and family. They're such a big part of the golf fraternity, which is a special fraternity in its own. I got to thank him for teaching me how to hit a draw and never giving up on me when it came to my chipping. Most people out there know with this cause, but again, there are so many stories, and the special quality that Mo had as McGraw there, he just loved everybody, and he found good in everybody. So again, Mo, it's Kingo. I'm going to keep trying on the chipping, and I won't give up.
So I was first exposed to Mo. Actually, I was lucky enough to be at one of the Gillum Hayes shindigs up at 1700, I think it was, 1700 Allen Avenue, back in about 1972 or something. Had nothing to do with the hole in the wall. Nothing to do with me. Anyway, I don't tell you the truth. I don't know why I was there. I don't know who I met there. It was a long time ago, but I do know I was there. In any event, as Richard said, I'd agree with all his comments about, the nice comments about Mo and the family. It definitely a huge part of Prince Rupert and a lot of us. And just one story is that, remember, I didn't start golfing till I was way too old, in about 92 or so. I wasn't 92, 1990. And I remember I didn't play very good, and I don't know what tournament it was, but I quit on 18 after multiple shots into the bush. And Mo took a strip off me. He said, you don't ever quit when you're golfing. He obviously didn't know that Doug Kidd was going to become my partner. So, Doug, you can thank Mo for me hardly ever quitting. Anyway, another story that I was mentioning to Maria, a Mo Hayes story, is that we talked to Mo a bit about his driving sometimes. And he explained how you park. The way to park is that you back up until your bumper hits the other vehicle. And then you drive ahead until the bumper hits the one ahead. And he says that's why they call them bumpers. That's what you're supposed to do. In any event, good friend of all of us, Mo Hayes.
had no intention of doing this, actually, but seeing as how I have to defend myself from Ross, Mo, I mean, for so many years and for so many of us, Mo has definitely been a fixture that he's going to live on forever and ever in everyone's mind as far as being golfers in this town. Mo was one of a kind, no ifs, ands, or buts about that. And one of the things that always amazed me, and I think everybody that ever met Mo, his ability to remember people's names. And I just want to just give you a quick example of that. My brother came up here and for the very first time came golfing on the golf course, and we walked in together, Kevin and I said to Mo, I said, "This is my brother Kevin," and he goes, "Oh yeah, there's a resemblance." And he says, "So where are you from?" "I'm from Langley, and so then we were only in the pro shop probably 3 minutes. Out we went, we played, my brother left a couple of days later, and came back 2 years later. I sent Kevin ahead just to see if it would work. And Kevin went ahead down the breezeway and around the corner and into the pro shop. And Mo looked up and he went, "Hi, Kevin, where's Doug?" What's with that? That is amazing. But anyway, Mo, I think that it's safe to say that of all of the pros that have graced the golf courses of British Columbia, you're an icon. Your stick-to-itness is amazing. You stuck through it thick and thin through pretty lean times as far as weather was concerned. Didn't seem to bother him. And he ended up giving me one golf lesson. And it was this. It was very simple. I said, "Mo, I'd really like for you to give me a lesson." He goes, "You can't be fixed." I never had to pay a penny. Anyway, Mo, thanks for the memories. You'll live on for sure.
I just wanted to say thank you very much, Pam and Mo, for coming to Prince Rupert. You've made our community a much better place. I just want to pass on something that happened to me years ago. I was on the range working on my game pretty hard, and Mo was out there, and I said, "Mo, have you got any advice for me for my golf game?" And he said, "Soon, find another sport." He was a great man. We were very fortunate to know him and have him living here in Rupert. Thank you, guys.
And now, all season sporting goods par for the course.
All season sporting goods.
Yes, golf is a game for a lifetime. You can play this game from a very young age right up into the senior citizens. In fact, we have a member at our club who's 80 years old. If we're going to start the kids young, we like to start them early. Just like riding a bike, once the fundamentals are learned, they'll never forget. The biggest problem we find with the kids starting very young is that with a little bit of lack of strength, they tend to want to have their hands apart on the golf club. If we can just get the kids to put the hands together, we don't worry too much about an overlapping or an interlocking grip. Also, we like to get the feet close together so the kids don't lose their balance when they swing. Losing the balance in the golf swing is not only bad for your golf, but it's very dangerous. Here we teach the kids to swing the club, they hit the ball, and have their feet stay on this mat, even if they don't have a good shot. We encourage this even if there's some whiffs. Holding the club properly, putting the feet the right distance apart, send the kids out to practice and just let them have some fun. There's lots of time later for learning all the intricacies of the golf swing. Well, we had a good practice session today, lots of good shots and lots of fun. Now we're going to ask the kids who their favorite golf professional is. Bob?
Greg Norman.
Oh, what a good choice. A great guy to watch. And you, Jackie?
Yeah, Dad.
Oh, thank you, Jackie. That's really a good pick. Remember, folks, get the whole family golfing, and everybody can enjoy a Sunday drive.
All season sporting goods.
I see skies of blue, clouds of white, bright blessed days, dark sacred nights, and I think to myself, what a wonderful world. The colors of the rainbow, so pretty in the skies, also on the faces of people going by. I see friends shaking hands, saying, how do you do? They're really saying, I love you. I hear babies crying, I watch them grow, they'll learn much more than I'll ever know. And I think to myself, what a wonderful world. Yes, I think to myself, what a wonderful
Thank you again for coming. And because of COVID, we couldn't give you, some food and a drink. But what we did is we made up teas. And they say mow the pro. And then the dates on the other side. And they're set up just as you go out the door. or not out the door, but before you go out the door. So please take a handful and spread his teas around the golf course. But thank you again.
Got some of those